Hello, hello. It has been a long time since I made any videos. I have been traveling almost nonstop throughout July, but now I'm back, and there's a ton of videos I want to make. We're gonna get started by catching up on Weekly Shonen Jump series, and we're gonna start that off with, I think, 3 new chapters of Boku no Hero Academia. Here we have a lovely 2-page color spread celebrating their 8th anniversary. Pretty crazy. I can remember when the series first started running. I didn't read it right away. I was actually a little skeptical of it, I guess. I just didn't think it seemed all that interesting. Oh wow, it's a bunch of kids and they're all superheroes and they go to a superhero school. It's not the most mind-blowing premise that makes you think, oh my god, I just have to know what this is about. But as more and more people told me about how good it was, and it kind of seeped more and more into the consciousness of manga fans, I was like, all right, well, Naruto and Bleach are ending. The big series that I used to follow are leaving gaps now. I might as well check this out, and I'm so glad I did. Huge range of characters here. Of course, our main heroes. I guess it's all heroes. They're not highlighting the villains on this spread. Maybe the villains will get their own spread soon. But yeah, some obscure people too. I see so many. I don't even know where to begin. A lot of characters that I'm like, oh yeah. This is interesting. I was like, oh, they're not putting the villains, but actually they are. I see Dabi here. I see Shigaraki Tomura here. It's just that there's not as many of the villains. The villains are all down in the bottom left, which was the last region I looked in, I guess. Alright, anyways, let's move on to the chapter itself, which is called Place of Learning. Okay, so we went to the battle that was on the floating island, which they had specifically designed and rigged up to keep the world safe, Shigaraki Tomura. Right now, Deku is racing there, using all sorts of quirks, being intercepted, trying to get to his predestined battle against Tomura, being perhaps the only one that has any chance of defeating him. But because he was warped to the wrong spot and he's not there yet, we have Bakugo having to take over. And I don't think it's going to be just a walk in the park for Shigaraki. I think Bakugo is going to actually be able to show his stuff, show how far he's gotten. But yeah, it's not just about the battle. They're also trying to keep this thing floating. Because if it crashes down into the earth and Tomura is allowed to just start dusting everything around him, it's going to get really bad for the entire geography of Japan very quickly. This place can't handle the weight. Confined within, cannot communicate with the outside world. Whoa. The business course is here. Okay. They're reporting on this to the world. They're making a documentary. Promote heroes. We've been taught to form the bridge between heroes and the rest of society. With 3 years of learning here, we should have a record. We all achieved victory here today. I mean, it's a good point. The documenting wars, documenting atrocities, documenting the struggles of those fighting to maintain peace, these are extremely, extremely important. Not just for the actual war effort, for motivating people to fight in that given war, but for kind of establishing the truth later, establishing the historical record. Even extremely publicized events are still debated whether or not they happened. How much worse would those debates be without the gigantic outpouring of evidence and, millions of lines of testimonials and photos and videos? Anyways, I kind of like this. I like that they're incorporating the business path of UA. We really rarely get to see those people. The support people we get to hear from occasionally. Of course, Hatsune, who's always building stuff for them, is a fairly major character. But the business kids, we were never really clear what they were doing this whole time. And then, of course, the general class had that one, the if you talk, you're under my control guy. Okay, Bakugo attacking. pretty strong. These are big hits. I like how this explosion is rendered. I love the kaboom sound effect here. And just these like little starlight explosions rippling outward. Ooh, and the shadow cast by the explosion, like showing the floating island in shadow, is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool shot, I gotta say. Of course, they're still trying to shut down Shigereki's quirk, the combo of Eraserhead and the cloning Quirk Man. She's constantly generating parts with Cementos, keeping the thing built. I like that not everybody is just forced into a battling role, but can really show the uniqueness of their powers in a variety of ways that all work together. Let's sweat the details. We're going to keep my left hand up on the table during meals. Kaminari, of course, powering the floating island in part. Ain't the type to fight all haphazard. Okay. So before, this was one of Bakugo's faults, I think, is that he was very unrestrained and unrefined in how he uses his power. He just generated massive explosions, and whatever they did, they did. But now they're really highlighting, like, he has direction and purpose behind all of his attacks. And that this isn't just in consideration of collateral damage, but is actually enabling him to have more powerful, more focused attacks. Ooh, boy, okay. A huge counterattack by Tomura. Bakugo's arm mutilated by this. That's a bad sign. Okay, we got some top-tier pro heroes jumping in. I guess at this point they had just been unable to keep up with Bakugo's attacks. But yeah, these are both... Well, Best Genius doesn't necessarily have to fight up close and personal, but this idea of for an intimate taste of power on par with All Might's. So yeah, his quirk is still being shut down. He's not dusting anything, but he's still able to use these all-for-one enhanced quirks and stuff to mutate and grow his body in a terrifying way that just makes his raw power, I guess, on par with All Might's, sending them flying. The biggest Grand Slam I've got, but I ain't even close to the major leagues. Your thoughts? Feelings? What you strive for? No. Katsuki Bakugo. He does know his name. I guess he kidnapped him once before. He remembered. The only thing about you that catches my interest is how you're closer to Midoriya than anyone else. Woo! It's the most triggering thing you could possibly say to him. Because I'm sure... Well, this is just that he's kind of like... disproving his own claim right here. Because he knows that this is needling Bakugo. He knows that this is pissing him off. And therefore, he must have a much more comprehensive psychological picture of Bakugo than he's trying to act like he does. He actually is interested in Bakugo because he's saying, I'm not interested in you, to piss you off. Okay. Midoriya, still on the way. All these other S-tier heroes, Genus, Mirko, and Edgeshot. Are they enough? Once he graduates from UA, he's aiming to be #1. Whoa, ho ho ho! It's Sun Eater! It's Sun Eater! It's my boy Sun Eater! I don't know why I like this character so much. Just something about his kind of gloomy personality combined with his very silly quirk that's kind of like Kirby. And just the fun of, like, he gets, like, stomach aches and stuff from having to eat all this food just to prepare for his power. I want to see him doing something. Yo, what? Mirio's here too? His power is back? Alright. This is hype. I guess his treatment has restored his quirk at last. For so long, he was just sort of this kind of sad side character, one of the more tragic losses of that entire arc, which, you know, quite a few characters died during. But now he can return to using his glitchy clipping abilities, leaping around and delivering supersonic punches. And Sun Eater's gonna fight. Okay, I'm excited. And we still have 2 more chapters, I think. So we'll get to see these guys in action right away. Join me tomorrow when I will upload those. Bye-bye.